share the role. I'm not sharing the role. I'm helping you with your role. You help us with our role, we help you with your role.
Welcome back to our channel, everyone. We are so happy to be with you today. Today we are going to be doing something a little different. We want to share with you our beliefs on the role of each gender within the household, and if we believe it should be equal. So we're going to be doing it in a form of debate, and then we're going to share our real and true views with you as tips in the end of our video. Stay tuned. Okay, so our mood is be it resolved that the gender role should be equal within the household, right? I totally believe, and Sean is against it in this video, right? And I'm going to be begin. We had a little shuffle, and I ended up with number one. Even when I was trying to cheat, I ended up with number one each time. So I'm going to go first, right? So, introduction. It is biblical that men and women have individual and separate roles in the household. Women have had to step up, step in, and in some cases, take on the role of the men in the house. We have had to lead, take care of our families, take care of our finances, and take care of the household financially, emotionally, and physically. If we are going to step up and be helpers as we were instructed to, then men need to lead and take charge. If we both are going to work and be breadwinners or assisting with finances, then the workload should also be shared equally. Women are expected, too much is being expected from women only. We're expected to be moms, we're expected to be breadwinners, we're expected to be cooks, wives, housemaids, teachers to the children. We're expected to do all the nurturing, right? While men bring merely some financial assistance to the household. Sometimes it is just a day by day sustainability. So the money that they take in can only last for a short period of time. It is not stable, right? And so today I believe that if we are going to step up and work, help you to work and help you to take care of the bills and finances, then you should equally help with the house chores. Thank you.
Hello to everyone. So my mood today is against the mood of be it resolved that gender role should be equal in the household. So today we'll look at the fact that men in the beginning were created and we were given women for helpmeet. But in my discussion, you will see that men was placed as the head of the household and women as help. So you can't have it equal with two persons of two different status. So the man is the head and the female is the help. So if you look at it, the male responsibility is far more greater than the female. And we will see where it is unfair for the female to ask that men should do equal work in the household. Because our work is within the household and outside of the household. Thank you.
Right. So I'm glad that you brought out that point and you made it very clear that women are not equal and are seen just as help to the men, right? Which I totally do agree with. The fact that we are to help because it is biblical that we are to help. But my point is that we are helping in more ways than we were originally expected to help. Now, if the role is currently being changed and we're asked to do more than what we were expected to do, then we ought to have the responsibilities in the household being shared equally as well. Now, my point number one is if we're both working, we should equally share the workload. And I will be referring to Titus 2 from verse 3 to 5. And it says, the aged women likewise, that they be in behavior as becometh holiness, not false accusers, not given to much wine, teachers of good things, that they may teach the young women to be sober, to love their husbands, to love their children, to be discreet, chaste, keepers of home, good, obedient to their own husband, that the word of God be not blasphemed. Right? So Titus clearly tells us that our role does not include working and providing financial assistance, right? That is the work of the men. However, it says that we are supposed to teach, and I said that before in my introduction, we are teachers, we are nurturers, we are to teach our children how to love, right? And how to take care of their families, as well as we are to be keepers of the home. Now, if it is that we are going to step up and we are going to be going out to work to help you to fulfill your responsibilities to the family, then the work should be equally shared among the members of the household. So if I'm washing the plates, you wipe the floor. If I'm spreading the bed, you sweep the floor, because you are going out to work and so am I. In most cases, now we find that women are leaders, women are taking up the highest positions all across the globe, right? And so we are in turn making more money. Therefore, if we are taking in money and sometimes more money than you, then you should also step in and help us to fulfill our duties in the household. Thank you.
Okay, so you said that in Titus 2 verse 3 to 5. It says, older women likewise are to be reverent in behavior, not slanderous or slaves to much wine. They are to teach what is good, and so train the young woman to love their husband, and children to be self-controlled, pure, working at home. That's the main point I want to look at. So the home is the female workplace, set from origin, from our master. Now what we practice today is not what is supposed to be. Our roles have been set by our Creator. And what we seem to do today is to, as you said, help. But not because we help doesn't mean that we have taken up the role. We help you with your role. So in order to say it is equal, you're saying that I'm supposed to take up the role, share the role. I'm not sharing the role, I'm helping you with your role. Why I deem it unfair for us to be equally sharing the role in the home is because men, as I said before, it has been set by our Creator. So we are expected to go out and be the breadwinner. Our role is outside. And when I said that we have a role inside now, it is upon the fathers to ensure that children are submissive. So we are supposed to ensure that the home have everything that is needed. So if we should fail at it, you will hear the response of the female. You know, man not live like, or man not stand up to their responsibility. Because it is our responsibility. But what you see now that is that female tend to, I think most of the problem today is that female tend to want to be equal to us. So that's why they go outside and find jobs because they want to provide for themselves and not satisfied with what the husband is providing. Men are supposed to be the one pronouncing blessing on the family. That is within the home, ensuring that everyone is being taught about Christ. Men responsibilities. Men supposed to love their wife as Christ loved the church. So if someone should run up in here and say somebody ever dead, a man have to swallow his spit and step forward because that's his road. It is unfair now for women to want to put their roles upon us. Because the Bible said the home is their workplace. It is clear, facts. So if we help you with your role, we are not sharing it. And it should never be equal. That is my case.
Alright. So my opponent used some very concrete words, right? Words like expected to and we are supposed to. Quite contrary to what is now happening, right? Men are expected to lead, yes. Men are supposed to lead, yes. Men are supposed to be able to go out. Men are supposed to go out and take in money to take care of the family, yes. Men are supposed to be fathers, examples to the children and to the household. And that is where the lapse is. The expectation versus the reality is totally different. And so, because of the fact that men are not upholding their roles, women are forced to become independent. How many men are walking out on their families? How many men are having children and walking out on the woman, leaving the woman to fend for herself? So yes, men are supposed to, but that is contrary to what is happening now, right? And so I just want to clarify that for you. An expectation versus the reality is where the issue is. Now my second point is in 1 Corinthians 11 verse 3 that says Christ is the head of the man is the head of the woman, and God is the head of Christ. So if we will not share the workload, then men need to assume their roles. If you assume your roles, we don't have a problem. If you are going out and you're bringing in the money and you're taking care and responsibility of what you are expected to take care of, then women won't need to ask you to help with the housework. But if we are forced to go out and assist you in finances, then of course you can't expect that I'm doing a 9 to 5, you're doing a 9 to 5, and I'm going to come in, I'm going to wash, I'm going to cook, I'm going to clean, and you sit down and watch show. That can never happen. It should never happen. Men, if we go out together, we're both bringing in $50, and we come home. If you reach home before me, you make dinner. If I reach home before you, you make dinner. When I'm doing the house chores, then you don't sit down and watch TV and allow me alone to do whatever. You need to assist me because I am also assisting you. And so many men believe that because they're going out and they're working and they're taking in some money, then they don't need to do anything else because their responsibility, they're taking care of their responsibility. Right? But if women are forced to go out and to make money to assist you, mind you, because of how the world is running, one household working does not necessarily work unless you're in a very good job, a very good position where you're taking in some money to cover all the expenses in the household. If not, then we are equally going out to work, we should equally complete. Nobody should be sitting down and saying, this is my job or this is your job, right? You should assist with what is happening in the household.
And I like the point that you made that when you contradict yourself. You said that if men do what is expected of them, which is to go out and bring in the money, then they don't have to help with the house chores. Then you said that if they go out and they come in, you're not supposed to sit down. But the fact that they go out, they are doing what is expected of them. They go out and they work, not right now, and they work and they bring in their hard-earned money and they come in. Why can't they sit down? You said it. If they're doing it, they're supposed to sit down. And I'm saying,
Say now, get my point.
not at this moment. I'm saying, men, we did not force you to go out and work. Men did not force you to go out and work. Because of disobedience, because of greed for power and equality, because females do want sport and do want to feel equal to men. So they go out and they earn their money so they can do whatever they want with their money. Why are you looking at me like that? And the fact that the reality is what it is today does not mean it is supposed to be. The creator can't set something and you go and change it and expect it to be okay. So he set it that the female workplace is in the home, the men workplace is outside of the home and in the home. And now, for the few bad ones that are not doing it, you expect that it's supposed to be generalized now and become the norm that everyone should be equal. You go out and work because you see the other person doing it, and because they're doing it, you start doing it, and then you pressure men now and say, I'm doing this now, so you come home and help me with the housework. You can't change God's plan and expect it to work. I respect
Alright.
it.
So we're not speaking of equality. I do not expect to be the leader of my household because it is not biblical. The Bible says that men are leaders, and which is what I just said, right, in my second point. So the men are the leaders in the household. But because of the depletion in the role of men, because men are not upholding their part, their end of the bargain, then women, it is not that men forced us, you know. It is not, we were not forced by men per se. We were forced by the circumstances. So no man never tell one woman, say, go work. No, we have needs. The family have needs. And so if the men are not upholding those responsibilities, then where are we going to get it from? Right? You have to play your role. If your role is being played, then the woman will have to stay home. And that is my point, right? My first point significantly stated that specifically stated that if we are staying home, if we're not asked to help with finances, if we're not, and it's not necessarily just being asked, but if the responsibilities of the household are being fulfilled, right, by the men as they should, and we do not need to go to work, then we cannot ask you to help us with our roles. We can, and not to say help with our roles, but to help the work in the household, right? We cannot ask you to help us with the work in the household if you are doing your work, if you're going out, if you are ensuring that all the bills are paid, right? And that is what I was saying earlier. You are upholding your end of the bargain, then the woman cannot ask you to stay home. But because of what is happening, then if it is that we have to step in to help you to fulfill your roles, then so do you. You don't come home and sit down and watch the woman after the woman go out with you and help you to work. You come in and you assist with the housework. Now, my last point is Ephesians 5 verse 25 says, husbands, love your wives and Christ as Christ loved the church and gave himself for her. And this speaks to me of sacrifice, right? So if it is that the wife, you are to love your wife, and the Bible specifically said, love your wife as Christ loved the church and gave his life for it. Then if the sacrifice, you should be willing to make the sacrifice that if your wife is going out to help you, then you are going to come in and you're going to say, all right, maybe I am tired, maybe I feel that I've done enough, but I'm going to look at it based on the fact that she is helping me, and so I will also help her to fulfill the roles in the household, because it is a sacrifice. You have to look, you have to be fair. You can't expect the woman to be washing, cleaning, going out to help you to fulfill your responsibilities, taking care of children, and doing everything else in the household, and still have time for you. That just does not add up. It drains you physically, mentally, and every alley that there is possible. And so that is my point today. If Christ made the sacrifice, right, and because of sin and all of that we took onto ourselves, the sacrifice was made, then you should also be willing to make the sacrifice, because the Bible said it. Love your wives, make the sacrifice.
I'm saying that even if the man do as they are expected to do as they're supposed to do, I believe that female will still ask of them for help in the household. Because the fact is, if Tom and John will go out and bring in income, it won't be equal. One will bring in more than one. Facts. Now, if John is bringing in less, John's wife see Tom's wife living a better life, they're going to want that life as well. But that does not mean that John isn't doing as he's expected to do. But because you see someone else living a better life and you want that life as well, you realize that John alone won't bring in the income. So the wife normally take it upon themselves and say, all right, you can't provide this for me and we need this, which might not be a need.
If we are provided.
Which might not be a need. So John's wife takes it upon herself now and goes out there and start working. And then they're living a better life. I agree. But why, there's something called content, being content. If John's wife was contented and living living in the principle that God has set, there would not be any problem. There won't be any argument about who is not doing this and who is doing that, because there would just be happiness. Now you realize there's argument over material things, which should not be so. So I'm saying that if female would be contented and allow the man or be satisfied with what their husband is bringing in and living by the principle that God set. As I said before, if God set it, that's how it should work. No matter how you see it working today, that's how it was set, that's how it should be, and I stand by it. And it's unfair for female to be greedy, going out there, working, coming home and asking the men to help them with their work that they should have been home doing. I rest my case.
Alright. Now, I don't necessarily agree with you in the fact that as I said, once the responsibility is being fulfilled, right, then there will be contentment. So if the bills are being taken care of, if food is being provided, if the children are okay and satisfied and can go to school as they should, then you will have contentment, right?
Can I say something?
Wait a minute, the issue is that men, as I said before, men stepped out of their roles. Men have become worthless. Some men, so it's not general, but men have stepped out of their roles. Men have started families that they're not ready for, and they walk out on the family, right? They walk out on the woman, as I said. No, if the woman does not have a man to fend for her, if the woman does not have somebody carrying in money for her, then of course she will have to go out and find the money for herself, right? And so I believe that if the role is being fulfilled as it should be, then you will not have a woman who want work. Me no want work. No, I don't know any woman that really wants to go unless there are some workaholics, right? They do not. Some women do not necessarily want to go out to work, but it is that the reality is that we have to do it in order to fulfill the obligations that we have and the responsibilities of the family.
Alright, this will be my last statement. But do you understand that greed can also create more responsibility? You agree? So if you did not have a greed or ready eye or bad mind, you would have more responsibility. You would want a better house, you would want a better car, you would be contented. The man is doing as he's supposed to do. And we're not talking about female who don't have a job or who don't have a man to fend for them. That female is okay to go and work, but you have a man, he's working, he's working. Now he's working and he comes home and you're asking him to help you with your work. That's what I'm looking at. That is unfair. To someone who is working, no more point, and is expected to come home and help with the wife's work. If you are contented, you won't have any need, or some of those other excess responsibilities would be necessary, and you would want them because you'll be satisfied with what is being brought home.
I think greed is being mixed up with ambition. I don't think wanting a better house or wanting a house or wanting a car that makes you mobile, can go pick up the children,
No,
a home, a stable home, a proper house, no water not leaking, and all of them things they're going. That is not greed. That is not greed. That is ambition. That is wanting a content life. And so if those responsibilities are being fulfilled, then we don't have a need to go out. We don't have a need to go and work. Right? Alright guys, so that is it. I know this one was quite long. You have anything else to say?
No worries, my kid.
Alright, so guys, I know that was a bit lengthy, right? But we want to also share with you our personal and true belief of the situation. Yeah, because we do not have that issue in our household, right? So I work, Sean work, so I work, Sean works, and I don't have an issue when Sean gets home or if Sean is on day off to help me with housework, right? there are things that I do not allow him to do because of my beliefs. So, for example, washing the bathroom and so on, I don't allow him to do those things. But everything else, he jumps in. Sometimes Sean gets home from work, and I'm here and I'm working, and the first thing he says is, "What you want me to help you with, right?" And I may just say, me alright, even when I'm tired, but the truth is he was working. Sometimes he's working nights. If I don't want him to come in and help me with work that when I was here. Right? So we do not have that issue, and I think we both believe that even if it is not equally shared, then a man should not necessarily sit and watch his wife working if they are both working.
I agree.
Anything you want to add?
No.
Alright, so men, I mean, it depends on your relationship and the understanding, because not every relationship is the same, right? And you can't necessarily compare your relationship with somebody else's relationship. But I believe that in most cases, men, you can assist, even if it is not equally done. If your wife is making dinner, and she finished making the dinner, you can go and you assist with washing the dishes, right? Or say she's going to wipe the floor, and she normally sweeps before, then you can sweep and then allow her to wipe, or in some cases they may be working inside and you're outside taking care of the outside. So I mean, it depends on your relationship again. But if your wife is going out to work, then it can't be fair that you allow her to do all the housework while you're doing nothing, right? Alright, so that is what we want to share to you today. We know it was long, but we hope that it helps you. We hope that somebody found it interesting. We hope that somebody will look into themselves and realize, that some assistance here and there can help. Alright, boyfriend. Bye, guys.
We help you with your hole.
Bloopers.
Alright, so you help us with. So you help us with our role, and I.
Okay, should I rest long time?
Yeah,